There is no companion like a fairy companion. No, hey, calm down, dude. Just go be second best somewhere else. Yeah, good boy. When King Arthur invented the concept of fairies back in 4, they were generally portrayed as mischievous, sometimes cruel beings who would drag people off to fairyland, never to be seen again. I would assume they either did it in swarms or they used magic, because if you're getting carried to hell by someone who's 4 inches tall, then welcome to the only time magic and Darwin ever got along, because that is natural selection. Fast forward a few thousand years to 1953, the release of Disney's Peter Pan and its character Tinkerbell, who upholds the traditions of old by also trying to kill innocent children. So I did not watch this movie as a kid. I had no idea how spiteful she was. Oh, you're hogging the attention of the guy who I spend literally every second of every day with? Okay. Make peace with your god, child. But toxic or not, Tinkerbell is super responsible for popularizing the character traits fairy characters have all the time in fiction. Headstrong, overprotective, sometimes helpful, conflict-creating, gamer girl. In more modern times, fairies have taken to being pleasant buddies that support the main character more than hinder them, while still showing signs of Tinkerbell DNA. This includes... Really? You're just gonna speak when I'm speaking? Okay, whatever, dude. I grew up in an age where Navi from Ocarina of Time was the ancient remains of the deadest horse who was ever killed, and people were still saying, oh, why I oughta teach that fucking thing what for. I like Navi, I always have, even as a kid. I admire the ingenious simplicity of her design. I love how she hangs out under Link's hat, and how she's the canonical reason that Z targeting even works. Somehow, all the way back in before I was born, Nintendo figured out how to make, 7 pixels on your screen feel like a genuine guide and friend who has your best interests at heart. But that is not to say that things were perfect. Oh my god, why is every sentence out of her mouth the most dry, lifeless advice ever written? If you stand next to the block and press A while holding the control stick, you can climb on top of it. This blue fire doesn't seem natural, maybe you can use it for something. Okay, we're back in the Temple of Time, but is 7 years really passed? You won't be able to use some of the weapons you found as a kid anymore. Let's get out of here. Okay, Navi, do you want to, like, go to dinner or something? Look, I read the manga. I know you have a personality, bro. Where is it? She doesn't talk much there either, but you at least get the sense that she's kind to the point of overprotectiveness and nagging. She can be impatient, sassy, and actually fucking feel things like love. Which reminds me, the trend of having fairy characters be in love with their human, elf, or brick shit house doesn't really appeal to me or make much sense. A lot of fairy friends in Zelda fall into this category. I remember watching the old cartoon show from the 80s that has this character Sprite whose sole purpose is to drag Link off like it's Pokemon if he ever gets too close to Zelda. I just feel like if you spend every waking moment together and you're going on some big important journey and she's like your road mom more than anything, it's a little weird. Unless... There's a Flash cartoon I watched as a kid about Ocarina of Time where whenever they showed close-ups of Navi, she'd be drawn like a real person, and this was Little Me's first time thinking, you know what? Girls are kinda tight. So that's cool, I guess. One last thing about Navi, why the hell does she just leave you after the game is over? You spent all this time quote-unquote bonding with me, if that even means anything to you. Just to brush it all off like carting me around Hyrule was just a job? What, am I not good enough? I messed up Saria's song once, and you're gonna give a kid abandonment issues because of that? Oh, but you're a forest fairy. You gotta go back to the forest, cause it's your job. Newsflash, your boss is dead. You can do whatever you want, and you are choosing to break my heart. You may have served your purpose as a teacher, but you have done a terrible job being my friend. God, what am I gonna do? Oh my god, everybody look. It's a better character. Finally, a Zelda companion who treats me like dog shit. Tattle from Majora's Mask has all the charm Navi doesn't. Even through text alone, so much character is conveyed here. You can always tell that she's constantly yelling louder than she needs to be and stumbling over her words as her brain short circuits trying to figure out if it wants to be nice or the opposite of nice. She's like a fusion of Navi and Tinkerbell, creating this perfect character that is just a joy to listen to. 10 out of 10, best Zelda companion companion by far. I don't want to hear anything about Minna. Enjoy second place, stupid. But while all these fairies are either your dad or a troublemaker, I haven't talked about this other archetype that's super important. The Redeemer. That's not the name for it, I just don't feel like looking it up. What if your main character is just the biggest piece of shit and you need someone to act as the moral compass they've long since abandoned? Well, is your story set in 1100 AD? Because do I have a character pitch for you? Meet Puck from A Midsummer Night's Dream, I mean Berserk. At the beginning of the story, Guts is the worst guy ever. He kills, and he does not care who dies as collateral from him killing people. But after accidentally saving a fairy, they're called Piskies in this world, which are types of elves, but fantasy nomenclature is an entirely different video. This guy is determined to see the good in this monster and follows him around. I spend the majority of my read-throughs of the Black Swordsman arc going, oh my god, stop being so mean to Puck, he is trying to help you. I know you need friends, you big dumbass. Stop throwing your life away. The world of Berserk is extremely cruel and harsh to an overwhelming degree at times. And that is why I cannot appreciate Puck's presence in this narrative enough. Even if he's just comedic relief nowadays, since his original purpose has been fulfilled, you really need that. Fairy companions in depressing stories often add humor and whimsy to a world that has none to spare. You know, I wonder if there are any other fairies in this story. I bet they're like so cool and chill and definitely don't do the most disgusting shit I've ever seen to each other. You know what's not disgusting though? NordVPN. No, it's Gallica from Metaphor. The whole reason why this video exists, by the way. Oh man, we're at the end already after just 4 examples. Yeah, what, you think I'm gonna talk about Sword Art Online or Artemis Fowl or something? No, man. Remember what Mom taught us. We only do as we must to make the video 8 minutes. Gallica is not just the best fairy companion ever, she's the best ever.
Of all time.
Which is weird to say because she came from Atlas? The guys who suck ass at making companion characters? Okay, that might be a little too harsh. I actually love these two, but just the jump in quality from every sidekick or navigator they've ever made to Gallica is just woo! Koromaru can be up here too, but that's a given. Every box I talked about before is checked. All her lines are overflowing with personality and charm. I want to give a special shout out to the battle dialogue. But dude, I still get a kick out of her whenever Haizme messes up a steal because she goes, ugh. So much for that. She's actually mad at him. I love it. I also love how, like every press turn system game, if you make one minor mistake, half your party will die for it. And when this happens, Gallica is panicking and flying around all like, oh my god, why is this happening? Please, not like this. Hulkenberg, you need to take care of your depression. It's lowering your attack. Captain, why aren't you healing anybody? You are the only one equipped with a healing spell. Dude, Stroll is bleeding from the eyes. You're going to have to amputate.
Barely made it. How about we all heal before we hit the next mess?
Obviously, the exceptional voice acting, scripting, and direction are to thank for this, but this characterization extends even beyond that. She'll sit on your shoulder if you stand still and will stay on it if you start walking. But if you pick up speed, she'll fly back and try to keep up with you. At dinner, they flip over mugs for her to use as a seat. On the Gauntlet Runner, when you read books, she actually reads them with you, which is such a vibe. And if you decide to let her cook something, you don't get enough tolerance to rank up. Oh my god, what is wrong with you? Sorry about that. I should learn to be a little more tolerant. She has that Tinkerbell Tattle-esque attitude to her, but it's never overwhelming or annoying.
Gallica, please be nicer to me!
Hey! I'm your fairy guide, not your fairy godmother.
Plus, she's genuinely helpful in boss fights. In the story, you can press triangle at any time, and she'll remind you about all the shit you don't feel like Googling. She is the canonical reason this game has music. Plus, on top of that, she doesn't want to fuck me? I think I haven't finished the game yet? Hopefully not. I'm jealous, bro. I'll just come out and say it. That's why I love fairy companions and why I'm so anal about personality and companionship. Ever since I was a kid playing playing Ocarina of Time. I thought it would be so cool to have a pocket-sized companion I could share all my thoughts to and go through life together with. Maybe it's my fault if I don't know what to do with my own thoughts when I'm alone, but honestly, I think that should be someone else's problem too. You guys are gonna believe this, man. I'm writing this last bit of the script in between sets at the gym because I checked what time it was on my Fitbit and out loud I whispered, "Thanks, bud." Bitch, are you stupid? It's not real, just call your friends! The point is, play Metaphor, and fairy companions are sick. I don't know why 500 of these videos don't already exist praising them. And that is all from me.